This is Wayne from My Tech News, and in this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different that I normally don't do on the channel. I'm actually going to be playing a little bit of Super Mario World for a number of reasons. First reason being, today is kind of a slow news day, and since there's no news that I personally want to cover, then I'm not going to have a video out. But since I'm going to be playing this, I will have a video out substituting a gaming or tech article. So that's why I had this up. And on top of that, I'm really curious to see how Nintendo's going to do with the whole copyright striking and the whole flagging and things like that. As you guys know, Nintendo recently changed their policies when it comes to content creation on the internet. And hopefully when I upload this video to the net, I shouldn't really have any problems when it comes to Nintendo and the whole copyright thing. I should be a-okay on that aspect. But as you can see on screen right now, I am currently playing Super Mario World, and you may be asking yourself, how am I playing Super Mario World? Am I using it through an emulator? Am I using it through the actual real hardware? What am I doing for this? Well, I'm actually playing Super Mario World right now on the SNES Classic or Super Nintendo Classic. And as you can see, it pretty much looks very good on the Super Nintendo Classic. So let's just go ahead and jump into a game. Now, one thing to take note about this, it is going to be live gameplay, so I'm going to be playing the game at the same time I'm talking about the game. This is not post commentary. Post commentary would actually be a little bit easier, but I want to do some live commentary. So it looks like let's go to Mario B. I haven't played on Mario B. You guys already know the story of Super Mario World, so let's go ahead and skip through these cutscenes. Okay, how do we skip through these? Did it freeze, or what's the problem here? Okay, there you go. It finally loaded the game. So as you can see right here, there's two different paths when it comes to Super Mario World. I think the one on the left is pretty much a dead end, so I'm not going to go towards the dead end. I'm going to go towards the right, which is pretty much the main path. And just something else to talk about during this gameplay, I'm not just going to be talking strictly about Super Mario World. I'm going to be talking about different things in this video, kind of like a mini podcast. So if my gameplay sucks at any point of this video, I highly apologize for that. I'm just really not good at talking and playing the game at the same time. So let's see how this goes. Oh, there we go. We got Yoshi. And that's one thing I love about this game compared to past Super Mario games, is the fact that you do get Yoshi in this game. And fun fact with Yoshi in this game, which pretty much everybody already knows, if you beat the level with Yoshi without losing Yoshi, you can actually take him to the next level with you, which is pretty cool. But yeah, how you guys been? I've been pretty good, honestly. I'm just really excited to get the new Super Smash Bros. Game that's coming out in just a couple of days. And hopefully I might do some live coverage of that on my YouTube channel, or I might do some gameplays now that Nintendo actually changed their policy when it comes to content creation. I'm actually very happy about that, so I may be doing that on the channel. Okay, we gotta destroy the Monty Moles. The Monty Moles can kind of be a nuisance in this level. Not really too bad, but you do have to be careful of the Monty Moles. I forgot what this path does. Anyway, it looks like you can't actually take that path with Yoshi. But yeah, honestly, just talking about random stuff, I'm actually really impressed of the performance of the Super Nintendo Classic. I really think the Super Nintendo Classic is absolutely fantastic when it comes to emulation, because we all know that the PS1 Classic just recently came out on the market, and I've been covering that on my channel a lot, and the PS1 Classic is absolutely a disaster. The emulation is bad, and on top of that, the some of the frame rates on the games are bad because Sony decided to put PAL games on an NTSC version of the not Super Nintendo. I'm playing the Super Nintendo Classic right now, but I'm talking about the PS1 Classic. They put PAL games on the NTSC PlayStation Classic. Why would anybody in their right mind absolutely do a thing like that? Overall, what Sony did with the PlayStation Classic, it really does feel like they really did skimp out. They pretty much just got lazy and they wanted to make a quick buck for the holidays. Will we ever see a proper PS1 Classic, or will we see a PS2 Classic? Who really knows what the future holds for the PlayStation Classic line of micro consoles, but I just found that whole thing interesting. How oh, I almost died right there, but I just really found it interesting how Sony pretty much butchered their own product, so it pretty much sucks that it's pretty much a failed plug-and-play system from Sony. Okay, let me see if I can get these flying Koopas. Okay, I can't hit the flying Koopas, and there goes Yoshi right there. Yoshi just got destroyed. Usually when it comes to Super Mario World, I don't really have a problem with some of the earlier stages. It's really like the later half of the game where I tend to have problems with the game. And I'm not quite sure how long this gameplay is actually going to be. I think I'm going to make this quite long. I think I actually want to make this gameplay at least 30 minutes. I don't know if I'll go back to this gameplay or what the case may be, but I just really wanted to do this for, like I said, a number of reasons. Testing out the new copyright laws for Nintendo, and on top of that, I don't really have any news articles to cover today. I want to talk about how I actually cover news stories on my channel. Basically, how I cover news stories on my channel, I pretty much go off a day-to-day basis, and if there's no news I can cover that day, that pretty much means you don't get a video from me. That's really how it all boils down to. It's not because I'm lazy or anything like that. It's really because there's no news to cover. Some days there is news to cover. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There is news to cover, but the thing is, I can't cover every story out there because I got to keep it real with you guys. There are some news stories out there I'm just not smart enough to cover. I don't know all the things about it. It's not my cup of tea, or it's not something I personally want to cover, but I try to cover as much gaming news and tech news as possible on the channel. But that's pretty much how it goes on my channel. I pretty much wing it every single day. I'm looking up news articles, I'm looking up different stuff, I'm checking YouTube out, I'm just checking out different sources to see where I can get my news articles from, and today's one of those slow days. But yeah, okay, I think we're on one. Okay, this is not a water level. I was going to say this was a water level, but nope. This is not a water level. It has water elements, just not a full-blown water stage. But yeah, going back on the topic of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it looks like that game's already been leaked out, of course, and a lot of hackers already got their hands on early copies of the game. And it's actually quite interesting. Some stuff's quite interesting about Super... if I don't take a hit right there, let me get my flower. But yeah, there's some... And then I get hit again. I pretty much failed right there. I took the hit, got the flower, and then took the hit again. But going back to Super... Smash Bros. Ultimate, it's pretty interesting how a lot of people already got their hands on the games and they're data mining the game and things like that. That's pretty much to be expected nowadays with hackers and things like that. There's almost no way you can get away from hacking no matter what device it is, whether we're talking about a computer, whether we're talking about a game system, a smartphone. There's almost no way to get away from the hacking scene. But yeah, there's some pretty interesting stuff with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and on top of that, a lot of people are already holding tournaments for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it's pretty interesting to see what type of characters are good in the game and what type of characters are not good in the game. That kind of stuff may not really interest you all that well. It's just I wanted to talk about it because I do play Super Smash Bros. On a competitive level, and it's pretty interesting to find out what are some of the best characters in the game. A lot of people are saying one of the best characters in the game right now regarding Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has to be Young Link, just because he has no lag on some of his moves. If you don't know what lag is in Super Smash Bros., it's pretty much when you don't have a delay between characters' moves, and that's pretty much what Young Link has, no delay between moves. And a lot of people are saying he's a very good contender for top spot in Super Smash Bros., so that's pretty interesting. And on top of that, we kind of already know how characters are going to be unlocked in Super Smash Bros., which is absolutely pretty interesting in my opinion. Now we're on the first level of Super Mario World. Let's try not to die here. But yeah, basically it looks like from people already getting the game early, there's 3 different ways to unlock characters. One way to unlock characters in Smash Ultimate is going to be playing the World of Light mode. You can unlock it playing the story mode. I heard that's actually one of the easier ways to unlock characters. I think the worst way to unlock... Okay, here's the first boss. Can't remember what, can't remember what Koopaling this is. But this is one of the harder fights just because you got to keep hitting him to knock him off the stage. I'm glad I actually had that mushroom. If I didn't have that mushroom, I probably would have died, honestly. But there you go. There's the first Koopaling out the way. But going back to Smash Ultimate, one of the harder ways to unlock characters in Smash Ultimate is going to be the adventure mode, not adventure, or classic mode, I do believe it's called, because there's different paths and you have to play with different characters, and it's just overall the slowest way as far as I'm concerned. And also, if you didn't know anything, I was just looking around about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it looks like from everything I've seen from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, there's going to be a 10-minute delay between unlocks in the game, but I heard people say you can just reset the game by closing the game and going back into the game, and it should reset the timer between unlocks. The fastest way in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate to unlock characters is going to be playing versus mode, playing just multiple matches in a row. I think it takes around 100 and some versus matches to unlock every character in the game. Basically, all you really have to do in Smash Ultimate, you really just have to go into versus mode, play one stock, just keep dying and rinse and repeat a process, pretty much like other Smash Brothers games, and you should be to go on every single unlock. One thing I am curious about is I'm wondering how Nintendo and Sakurai are actually going to go about the Piranha Plant character, because if any of you guys pre-ordered the game right now, you actually got a code in your email that's talking about oh, I can't believe I didn't get hit there. Usually this is the stage that I take a couple hits on, because this one's very projectile based. But going back to Piranha Plant, yeah, I don't know when we can type in the Piranha Plant DLC codes, because we already got our codes for that. I actually haven't tried typing in my code yet, but I'm hoping we get the A-OK for that. I'm actually hoping we can get that day one, but I think from what I remember from the last Nintendo Direct they had for Smash Ultimate, I think they said that character was coming out in December. I mean, excuse me, not December. What am I saying? I'm trying to concentrate and play this. Not December. January of next year. But I mean, it's not really that bad, considering no one expected Piranha Plant to be a character in the game. He's kind of an odd character. For me personally, he kind of reminds me of Piranha Plant kind of reminds me of the Koopalings. If you guys if you guys played Smash 4, the Koopalings character was kind of odd, where you play in the clown car and you go around. I think nobody expected that character. Same as Duck Hunt Dog. Okay, I took a hit, but I finally managed to beat that stage. But yeah, he's one of those odd characters, so I don't think nobody's like super excited to play as him. I just was hoping that maybe there's a chance that we could get it on day one and we can start messing around with that character. I also wonder how Nintendo is actually going to go about Piranha Plant. Is he considered part of the DLC pass? So is it going to be part of those 5 characters? And does that mean we're only going to get 4 characters left in that pack? Or does that mean, in terms of DLC characters, he's going to be counted as a 6th character? And does that mean we'll still get 5 characters? I'm assuming the way that they're saying it, I think we're still going to get 5 characters. Because why would they have a pass and say there's 5 characters coming if Piranha Plant would be counted as one of those characters? So I think that's how they're going to go about it when it comes to the DLC. And yeah, we got the first, we have the first castle right here. Or not the first castle, the first underwater stage. First underwater stage. My mind's all over the place. We had the first underground stage. We just did our first castle a while ago. Okay. But yeah, overall, the reason I went with this game, besides other games on the SNES Classic, is because we all know Super Mario World is a classic game, and on top of Super Mario World being a classic game, I love this game. I actually think this is one of my favorite retro Mario games. I know it's always a thing with retro gamers or just people in general. What is the best retro Mario game? Is it Mario 3 or is it Mario World? You never hear anybody talk about Mario 1 or Mario 2. It's always which is the best Mario game of all time, Mario 3 or Mario World. In my opinion, me and my friend think Mario World is absolutely the better Mario game. I cannot say anything else about that. For me personally, I'm just not really a big NES guy. I know that may upset some of you to hear me say I'm not really a big NES guy, but in general, I'm not really a big NES guy. There are some games on the NES I would be willing to play, but in general I just don't really play too much NES. That's probably why I don't really like Super Mario World 3. I don't actually like the way the game looks. The way the game plays mechanically is fine. I just don't like the way the game looks. It really does bother me. If you look at Mario World 3 and oh, I died right there, epic fail. But if you look at Super Mario World versus Super Mario World 3. This just looks absolutely like a much more better game overall. It's much more polished, the graphics look better, and things like that. I know this may even sound odd to some of you guys, but honestly, I'm much more bigger fan of the original Mario game than I am of Mario 3. I know that really sounds odd. You're probably thinking to yourself, why do you like Super Mario World, why do you like Super Mario 1 versus Super Mario World 3? Oh my god, why did I hit that? Why did I hit the Koopaling, or the Koopa Troopa? Why did I hit the Koopa Troopa and then had that shell bouncing around? That was an epic fail on my part. But yeah, for some reason, I just really love the original Super Mario. I think also it has to do with I'm not really a fan of the actual soundtrack in 3. It's one of my least favorite soundtracks in Mario history, honestly. I do not like it. Oh my god, there's 2 Koopas. That was stupid. There's 2 Koopas right there. Oh my god, that's my fault. I have a lot of lives, too. I have 6 lives. But yeah, I hit the Koopas right there. If I die again, I think I'm just going to speed up this clip and come back when I actually beat this level. So you don't have to sit through all this pain of me beating this level. Okay, there we go. Now it's going a little bit smoother, since I don't have to worry about those Koopas. Like I said, trying to talk and play at the same time is not the greatest experience for me. Okay. I guess here's some other gaming news that I wasn't going to cover on my channel, which is kind of interesting. I think I already did a video on this a while ago in a different video, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit more since this pretty much was kind of like breaking news. The fact that Microsoft is getting more, buying more studios out and getting ready for the next generation of consoles, which is quite interesting because as we all know, with this current generation of consoles, Microsoft really blew it when it comes to first-party exclusives. They had your normal stuff like Gears of War, Halo, Forza. They also had some other ones. The current one that came out this year was Sea of Thieves, but we all know Microsoft pretty much blew it when it comes to Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves was pretty disappointing compared to what everybody wanted Sea of Thieves to be. When they showed off Sea of Thieves, I think last year's E3 2017, they pretty much blew it with that game because they were talking about how this game was going to be very good. It's kind of like the No Man's Sky, if you think about it, because they were missing so much content in that game. But going back to Microsoft, I will agree Microsoft this generation did not have a lot of first-party IPs. And I will agree they need more first-party IPs. Is that the reason they mainly failed this generation? I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that is the sole reason they lost this generation. There's a number of reasons why they actually lost this generation, to be completely honest with you. You guys remember at the beginning of this generation, they talked about how their box was $500. It came with a Kinect, and a lot of people were scared off by the Kinect because they said it was always going to be on. What if people are spying on you? And they might be spying on you since you always had the Kinect plugged into it. On top of that, the console was $500. They always touted up the DMR protection on their games, so you couldn't buy used games for the Xbox One. Of course, we all know how that turned out in the end. That wasn't necessarily true. Of course, you can still buy used games at GameStops, play people's games, and things like that. But Microsoft pretty much scared off a lot of people by talking about how it was going to have protection on the games and things like that. So that didn't help. Also, overall, there was too many things plaguing the Xbox One, which made it a very bad thing. But yeah. Now here's the first. But here's the first Boo House that's in Super Mario World. And this one's actually kind of hard if you never played this game because you may get confused by it. Let me see if I can get... Okay, forget that. I was trying to go for my mushroom, but I don't think I'm going to get the mushroom. But yeah, this is a trick house. You go in here, then you hit this, you hit the P-switch, and then after you hit the P-switch, there's actually an arrow here that says go in this door, but you don't want to go in that door because that door is actually... actually a trap. You actually want to go back into the same door you came out of. Then after you do that, you want to hit the I think a block, and after you hit a block, it'll actually take you to the exit of the world. So yeah, that's kind of like the trick to this level here. I remember when I first played Oh my god, I can't believe I hit a boo. But I remember when I first played this level for the very first time in my life, I was just sitting here going in circles, and I thought there was no way to beat this level. This is one of the levels in gaming history I actually had to look up on the internet just because I wasn't really sure how to beat this level, but this level's not really all that hard. It's not even the enemies that's the problem. It's the problem that it just loops literally if you follow the actual arrow. Okay. Where am I going now? Okay. Hit the P-switch. Go through the door, and then after I go through the door, you want to hit this, and then oh my god, if I can hit it. And then a vine will come up. After you hit the vine, it'll take you pretty much to a door, and this is the exit to the level. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and talk about the next generation of consoles. But since Microsoft is actually talking about buying all these studios out, that's actually a good thing because you might see some pretty good exclusives from Microsoft next generation, and they could be absolute killer. They could be absolute killers when it comes to first-party IPs for Microsoft or exclusives. And I'm pretty excited to see what Microsoft has planned for next generation just because they have so many studios bought out and they're going around buying a lot of studios. Hopefully Microsoft can get back to the swing of things. It's nice to have stuff like Forza, Halo, Gears of War, and things like that. But those things, in my opinion, are kind of old news and kind of played out in this aspect. And in terms of IPs compared to Sony, Sony definitely does take the cake in terms of first-party IPs. They just have much more better first-party games. They just have much better exclusives. Overall, the lineup of games in general just better off in there. And honestly, if you ask me, I used to be a big Gears of War fan, and I used to be a big Halo fan, but I can't admit Sony's definitely taking the cake in terms of what they're doing. They got things like The Last of Us 2 is coming out, which everyone knows it's going to be an amazing game. They also got the Uncharted games, and the Uncharted games are absolutely great. Oops, I made a mistake talking, but the Uncharted games are absolutely amazing. I actually started playing them this gen on the PS4. I never actually played them last generation, so I am fairly new to that series, but it is cool that series is absolutely a fantastic game if you're into third-party shooters. A lot of people compare that game to Gears of War because it's a shooter and it's also a third-person shooter. Overall, I like my experience with that game. Overall, I can say is Sony definitely kills it with their third-party lineup. It's kind of like Microsoft started really good with Gears of War, Halo, but then after a while, they started to get stale. They started just not to interest me and things like, especially with Halo. I think Halo nowadays is a hit or miss when it comes to people liking Halo. I know a lot of people loved or hate Halo. It was a love-hate relationship when it comes to Halo 5. I actually played Halo 5 when it actually came out. That was the reason I bought an Xbox One. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did buy the Xbox One mainly for that game alone, but then that game became old news and it was just like whatever. The story was pretty good, but I wouldn't say it was my favorite Halo story to date. Definitely my favorite Halo story to date has to be Halo 1's campaign or Halo 3's campaign. I can't really say too much about Halo 2's campaign just because, well, I haven't actually played really any of Halo 2's campaign, so I'm pretty much unfamiliar with that campaign alone. But one I actually did enjoy a lot had to be the Halo Reach campaign, because the Halo Reach campaign was phenomenal in my opinion. Actually, I think Reach was my favorite game in the series altogether. I love the mechanics of the game. I love the story of the game. I love everything about Halo Reach. I remember that was one of my few games I actually got on release date. I actually pre-ordered it, and that game was fantastic. And I love that game. I just loved everything. I loved how it was the first game in the series to actually kind of copy Call of Duty in a way, because you had loadouts and then you had abilities in that game and things like that. I don't think they overdone it. And then Halo 4's campaign, or Halo 4 in general, I never played Halo 4. I'm kind of going on a Halo tantrum right now, but yeah, just talking about just things that Microsoft has done kind of poorly, the Halo franchise. They said they actually want to continue the Halo franchise for another 30 years. I actually believe that's probably true, but the thing being, I don't know how drawn out or how played out it's going to be by the time they have another 30 years of Halo, because we can already see things with Halo 5 and just the sales numbers aren't blowing anybody away when it comes to Halo. I think just a lot of people in general are kind of tired of Halo. But look at this pipe in Mario World. This pipe's going up and down, which is funny. I don't think I've ever seen that before, actually. And then I get hit by Koopa. I'm gonna throw that Koopa. What? Oh! Oh, wow. He almost destroyed me right there. He grabbed it, and then he tried to throw it back at me. I don't think I've seen that either. You may be saying, why are you talking about all these little details in World and you've never seen them before? Well, truthfully, I've never seen them before. I don't know why. Maybe I just really don't pay attention, but now when I'm sitting down to actually record this video, I'm actually noticing little things I never noticed before. I wonder if these guys are Hammer Bros, or there's something else. They kind of look like Hammer Bros, or they act like Hammer Bros, and they throw hammers, obviously, but I wonder if they're different enemies. But I love the actual soundtrack to this game. I think that's why I hold this game higher than 3. A lot of the games, for me, honestly, I know this sounds kind of weird. A lot of these games boil down to the soundtrack for me. The soundtrack is a big deal for me. Of course, the gameplay has to be front and foremost, obviously. I wouldn't like the game, but I love soundtracks and games, and I think this soundtrack is one of my favorites, and it's definitely better than 3. But for some reason, I love Super Mario Bros. 1 soundtrack over Super Mario Bros. 3 soundtrack. And wow, there's a lot of stuff in this, and I don't have a power. I mean, I don't have a mushroom. I'm not big, so this is kind of sketchy right here. Let me see if I can get on this moving platform. One or two more levels and I should be done with this gameplay right here, because it's going to go on 30 minutes and I think that's a little bit too long, but I did want to ramble on about some different stuff. That's why I wanted to make this video about 30 minutes long. And honestly, now that I'm sitting here doing this video, I kind of actually want to do more of these on my channel, and now that I'm much more experienced too on my channel, I feel like I talk better and things like that. I can actually do these videos. Whereas before, I tried doing these in the past, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and my commentary just didn't flow right. I didn't know what to talk about. It just was really weird and things like that. I think when it comes to these videos, I got to talk about different things to kind of break up the monotony of just a game, and I'll have other things to talk about. Like, I actually like doing these as like more of a commentary or more of a podcast style, where I'm just talking about different things that interest me and stuff like that. Okay, let's see where I'm supposed to go. And hopefully Nintendo won't actually claim this video. Okay, make sure the thwomps don't kill me. Fun fact, that's actually dry bones right there. Me and my friend don't actually think that looks like dry bones. We actually think it looks more like a duck or a bird. If you compare it to like the later iterations of Dry Bones, it really does look nothing like Dry Bones. I mean, that's probably the best they could have done with 16-bit technology. Okay, let me see if I can get up here. Oh, I can't get up there. This may actually end up being my last level for this video, because I checked the time right now and it's literally almost like 30 minutes into the gameplay, and that's pretty much where I want to end the gameplay. Oh no. I'm gonna move the spring over. Oh my god, he's gonna kill me. I have a feeling that this Dry Bones is... Oh my god, I can't get up there. Oh my god, he went through the spring. I didn't think he was actually gonna go through the spring, but indeed, he definitely went through the spring. Okay, I'm gonna give this one more attempt. I need a mushroom. Let me go through the door here. I guess just speaking about just random stuff again, because I'm jumping like all over the place in this video. Okay, one more attempt. That was just stupid. I was talking and thinking and stuff. I guess one thing I'm actually thinking about is Crackdown 3, because we're supposed to be getting Crackdown 3 this generation. I know they delayed that game, and it's funny if you think about it that Crackdown 3 has been delayed so many times this generation. It was supposed to come out other year. They keep delaying. Wow, I failed. But they keep on delaying that game over and over and over, which is not really a good sign. I hope they don't delay it again, because I know a lot of people are looking forward to Crackdown 3, and that's pretty much Microsoft's big exclusive for the Xbox, so I'm hoping that they'll deliver on that game. I remember they were talking about at 1E3, they were talking about how it was supposed to have something about the environment was supposed to be destructible, and it was supposed to use cloud technology. I remember that being a big thing from Microsoft. They said that it's going to be the best looking environments because we'll have destructible environments, but the technology will be through the cloud, so it's going to be cloud gaming based. So part of it will be through the cloud, and you'll have to have an always on connection because it'll make sure that that game looks the best. But obviously that's not the case, and they failed hard on that thing, but I just thought that was funny. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and end the gameplay right after I either fail the next time or I beat this castle, which I'm not quite sure if I'm going to beat this castle, but I'm going to give it my all, I mean. Okay, just make sure that freaking, all I got to do is make, oh my god. Oh, okay, there. All I got to do is make sure that, oh my god. They put me in a bad spot. Okay. There we go. Woo! Okay, okay, I was going to say, where's the platform coming out? But no, the platform's coming out right now. And then we have another we have another Dry Bones coming out. We have a free space right here, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to beat this level. I know I said I was going to end it at 30 minutes, but I got to see if I can beat this level. Oh my god. Please give me a mushroom. Please. I think there's going to be a mushroom up here. But yeah, I'm actually still quite impressed on how the Super Nintendo Classic actually looks. I would actually say this actually looks better than what it did look back in the day. Of course, unless you put the CTR scanlines on, and I'm not playing with CTR scanlines on in this video for a number of reasons. I just don't really like the CTR scanlines. I know a lot of people think it's nostalgic to go back to it, but for me, it just really doesn't make sense. So I don't use the CTR scan lines. What you're actually seeing in this video, I forgot to talk about it, you're actually seeing this in 4:3 aspect ratio. It's not pixel perfect mode, it's not CTR. Pixel perfect mode actually makes it look a little bit sharper, but the thing is, you actually get a smaller image on your screen. I didn't know if you guys were aware of that, but that is absolutely the case with this game. So where's the other platform? Wasn't there supposed to be another platform that comes out? I'm pretty sure about that. I'm having so... Oh, there's not supposed to be another platform that comes out. I'm slow. I know this guy falls from the ceiling. I just literally played this game a while back. And he falls, okay? Okay, one more hit and I beat this castle. Oh, he's moving faster. Are you kidding me? He went back up. Okay. There we go. I beat him. Yes. I beat the next Koopaling right there. And then Mario blows up the castle here. Thank you. It's me, Mario. Morton Koopa Jr. of Castle Number 2 is now just a memory. The next area is the underground Vanilla Dome. What traps await Mario in this new world? What will become of Princess Toadstool? Find out on the next episode. And that's pretty much Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from MyTech News, signing out. Peace!